Hello, this is It's On Talk Show, and today's show topic is stopping the violence. As you well know, the violence is off the chain in Baltimore City, the state of Maryland, and all the cities around the nation. We got to stop this stuff. And today I have some wonderful men on my panel, and I'm going to let you start off with brother here. Introduce yourself, tell what you do.
How you doing? My name is Ted Sutton, and I guess I have to try to tell you what I actually do. I'm intervention specialist, but I work normally with gang members, helping them to get out of gangs and helping them to also change their lives around. Just very briefly, I also do transitional housing, helping young men who just need somebody to believe in them. Also, recording studio, working with some of the young people as far as with that, and just doing everything that I possibly can. A lot of it has to do with my own personal life. All of that stuff that they were writing about with The Wire. I was one of the younger people. I was one of the people who was in one of the roughest crews at one time, and God changed my life. My mentor was Lil Melvin Williams, who they featured American Gangster for. But I ended up giving my life to Christ in the Mitchell Courthouse building a few minutes before I was to get sentenced for something I didn't do. And since then, I've gotten my bachelor's, master's degree and started working with young people trying to make a change and a difference out here.
Tony?
My name is Tony Bush, and I'm a licensed bondsman, bail bondsman in Baltimore City. And just to kind of piggyback on what the gentleman before me spoke about, I've been down that road of destruction too as a young juvenile in this juvenile system, and just being acting out on a lot of crazy emotions, trying to fit in with the in crowd when I was coming up as a juvenile, and again I just turned my life around about 20-some years ago, and just on the right track, doing the right things, and went back to school, and I'm a licensed bondsman in the state of Maryland. One of my jobs is to get criminals out of jail, and it's a tough business to be in, but it's like everything else, somebody has to do it. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Carlton C. Douglas. I'm the owner of the Carlton C. Douglas Funeral Service, PA, located 1701 McCullough Street here in Baltimore. I'm also a past president of the National Funeral Directors and Morticians Association, which is the largest organization of minority funeral directors in the world. And I am presently, for the third time, the state president of the Funeral Directors and Morticians Association of Maryland, which is the largest organization of minority funeral directors in the state. I would say that during the 70s, 80s, and 90s, we buried a whole generation of black men. And as a result of this burying of these gentlemen, there are children who have been left here fatherless. And without a father in their life, many things have changed in their life. And I think some of the things that are going on in the street are there because of what has happened in the past. And a lot of these young people do not have any kind of parental guidance. And it's behooves some of us who are out in the community trying to make a difference to try to step in and maybe be a surrogate parent.
How y'all doing today? My name is Brendan Lee. I used to be a gang member, a gang banger, and I found the Lord Jesus Christ, my Savior. Amen. And now I'm actually mentoring children to not join gangs and do the things that I used to do. I'm also a facilitator of a program called Restorative Practice to help children, and not only children, adults, to see the harm that they brought to their community and have them face it right there head on. And then we work on problem solving, on things to make the problem right. And that's a little bit about me.
All right, my name is John Austin, and I've been living in Baltimore all my life. And the things I have seen in Baltimore City is unreal from the time that I came up to the time where the age I am now. I'm 54 years old now. By the grace of God, I'm still here. And I have a son and I have a daughter. But my daughter is 32 years old and she's still out there. But that's on her behind the fact. She had the right way to go, but she wouldn't take it. But the only thing I could do is pray for her and others. See, it ain't all the time just about us. It's always about somebody else. But if we don't take these children in our best interest, we're going to lose them. We cannot let someone else raise our children. It's bad enough the people told us we couldn't beat our children. A beating made me all right, you know. I had beaten with switches, extension cords, and everything else, you know. But anytime you had to go get a switch to get a beating with, you got a beating. But that was back in the day. And you better not have told nobody you got a beating or you got another beating. And the teacher beat you and the neighbor beat you. Everybody beat you. But everybody beat you for a reason because you was bad at one time. Now today is a different story. How can you be a parent when the children parenting the parents? Then you got some children worse than the parents. Then you got the parents worse than the children. The whole atmosphere out here now is different than the time when I came up. When the lights went off, we came in the house. The lights is off today, they stay out the house. You know, children, little babies. You know, people just lost concern of their own child and lost respect of their own neighborhood where they live at. I will not let a drug dealer, a gangbanger, or nobody else move me out where I've been living it all my life. I can't do it. I can't do it. You might as well just kill me where I stand because I ain't going nowhere. And another thing is, all the churches in this neighborhood, you got more churches than you got bars on each corner. Now you're gonna tell me that all these, not all of them, just some of them, you're gonna tell me all these churches can't get together and grab some of these children's hand and take them in? But yet they can come in your neighborhood and flood it out every Sunday and don't never come back.
Strong point, brother.
You know, they could do that. If they can collect something for everything else in this city, how come they can't collect money for the children? That's the part I don't understand.
That's it.
You know.
Brother John, let Brother John
All right,
introduce
go
himself.
ahead.
Brother John is strong. Wait a minute, Brother Darrell. I know Brother John, he's a very sincere brother, and he's going to let loose tonight.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Darrell John Sniper Bay. I belong to one of the greatest organizations that there is in this society today. We looked at the solutions. We're not looking at the problem anymore. I work for my fiance, Yvette Chambers Hill, who has an organization called Promise Child Productions. She also worked for the Birdie Group. I have a Bachelor's of Science in Psychology. I have an A in Sociology. I deal with fitness training. I deal with nutrition. And the objective of this meeting is to try to find a solution for the problem today. I'm saying I've been in every facet of or form of incarceration that you could imagine. I'm not proud to say that I am a career criminal. Most that know me know that I am. But I am a rehabilitated individual this day. So I have experience on both sides to be able to interject and intervene to give anyone that's willing to make a change in their life the information necessary and the guidance for them to have just that. And I am elated as well as thankful for my Creator, Jesus the Christ in the form of Drew Allah, be on this panel tonight with such distinguished gentlemen to try to impart the things that's necessary to make us better people as a society and as a whole. Thank you very much.
Well, listen, I brought these men together because, let me tell you, we are in a bad situation. We all know about the killings, the crime, the drugs, the grime. Look, I brought these brothers here to help you, your children, help me, help themselves, because we really need one another right now. We are in a crisis. The economics are bad, which is really affecting so many people in so many ways. So, gentlemen, again, let's try to, whatever God puts in your heart to say to help this community of people and this city, this state, let's give it to them.
I know one thing that I want to say, and not to talk down on any pastors or elders or anything, because one, I'll tell you like this, I'm actually an ordained elder myself. My father is a pastor, pastors 2 separate churches. But I'm saying it like this, people need to stop talking about what other people should do and need to focus on what they can do. And meaning leading by action, leading by, what they do. Because, see, I saw a young man who needed a place to stay. I didn't wait for somebody to say, I'm going to give you grant money. I went out, opened up a house, started working on it myself, didn't get a dime of grant money, and started bringing young men in and teaching them. Because a lot of people, they tell somebody, yeah, you need to pull your pants up and get a job. But the thing is what have you done for me to listen to you? For me to pull my pants up and get a job. And then you tell people what to do, but you don't give them a blueprint on how to do it. Now, actually, I'm the founder. I started something called Baltimore's Ministers of Defense. And I brought together pastors, people who believe in God, deacons, whoever. And I also brought together gang leaders.
Right, you did.
And that is to focus on the youth violence and to minister to people who've been victimized also by gang violence.
Right. Now, right. But here we are. I know you're out there doing a great job. What is the one thing you can say to somebody tonight to encourage them to get out of the gangs or stop the violence? Because this killing is crazy. Do you know that in Baltimore, down at the harbor, they arrested a kid and people hear them say that he just want to go kill somebody tonight. Well, he did shoot somebody. Fortunately, that person didn't die. But that same guy is in jail. Him, his brother, another guy. But they didn't expect this to be locked up that night. But they wanted to kill somebody. I mean, it's crazy, man. What can we do this to young people like that? What can you say?
Well, some of it is indirect self-suicide. They don't even have no hope. And I tell people, you have created the perfect criminal when you've allowed a person to have no hope. Because when you take hope from a person, they have nothing to lose.
Right.
And a person that has nothing to lose it's no boundaries that they won't cross.
Right. I want to say something to Mr. Douglas. Mr. Douglas, you hear what we just talking about? These young men having no hope and willing to kill. Do they really understand what they're doing?
No, they don't. And that goes back to, first place, you got to understand, and everybody is on this panel is one color.
Right.
We're black.
Right.
We were brought here on a slave ship, brought here and then forced to assimilate in a culture we ain't know nothing about.
Right.
And we're still being forced to assimilate to that culture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? When these kids, and I've been talking this for almost 30 years about kids killing kids.
Uh-huh.
Or blacks killing blacks.
Right.
And the fact is, especially with males,
Uh-huh.
the fact is, they're looking at TV.
Right. I agree.
They're seeing a guy pull out a Uzi,
Mm-hmm.
or 38 or 9mm,
Right.
shoot another person like it ain't nothing,
Right.
and walk away. What they fail to remember or to realize is that the director calls cut.
That's right. Everybody get up and go
And the guy get back up.
and go to the restaurant and get something to eat.
Hello, but when you pull that trigger for real on that other individual,
Right.
it ain't no such thing as cut.
I want
He's
to say
dead.
to Mr. Darrell here. Now he said he's been in. This is my brother-in-law too, by the way. But he's been in jail for years. What happens with these young guys when they come to jail?
What happens is they get a distorted image of what jail is really all about, okay? I want to get back to the fine point of what actually causes an individual to seek incarceration, because what we don't realize is the youngsters seek incarceration. Incarceration is sort of like a validation of their manhood. I go back to when I was a youngster, and my father before me was doing the type of things that I chose to do, negative. See, images is everything. You can say what you want. Those children didn't come out with behavioral problems.
Right.
They learned that from somewhere. And it starts at home, whether it's not the parent or not. It's the TV shows. It's the violent videos. It's whatever it is that's violent that's attractive. Remember, sex and violence is attractive. When we coming up, we can't discern right from wrong. Okay. We think what we do in the house is right. When we get outside the house, we think what we do is right. Therefore, we project one image to the parents or to the guardians and another image to the street. I got to validate my friends when I'm away from my mother and my father. I can't validate my mother and my father in the street. It's a survival of the fittest there. And until we get to the psychology, because our problem is economical and socially. The psychology of the media, the psychology of prison is to validate that this is the place to be. It's big business.
A lot of young people have, if to take, I will attest this, and Brendan, they have a lot of stress and they're fatherless.
All these children out here is not bad. Believe that.
Oh, that's
the
right.
white folks got us thinking that this whole city is so bad and so wrong. But if it's so wrong and so bad, why they keep building in it?
Because
Why they keep coming?
it's a great city, and guess what? They want it all.
Why they? But look, dig this though.
What's that?
Ain't no man on this earth gonna have it all because the Lord already got it.
That's right.
People told me, a wise man told me one time, the woman told me, well, I'm giving the Lord this. How can you give the Lord something that he already had?
If they understand,
He already have it.
it's his kingdom.
It's all his.
It's all his.
Because without the Lord, you ain't nothing. And me and nobody else. I don't care if you got a pot of gold. It doesn't even matter.
That's
and
right.
just like I told a young boy one day, I said, let me tell you something, son. If you go up in that alley where it's dark, something might happen. But if you stay out in the light, you're going to know what's going on.
That's right.
But
That's
see, it takes time to think about that.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't all the time that I had a car to drive,
Right.
a job to go to. It wasn't easy, but it ain't hard.
That's right. That's
But
right.
you got to make your mind up.
Right. Right.
Which way I'm going, if I'm going down or I'm going up.
That's
Many
right.
times I could have died, but you know what? The Lord saved me.
Well,
and right now today, if I can do anything, I'm gonna try to give it back.
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
want it or not, I'm still gonna give it to you.
I want to say something for 1 minute. My fiance Yvette Chambers Hill had something down the War Memorial last Friday. The turnout was so minimal, and it was about the youth. Because I'm mentioning her because she's always about the youth.
Okay.
But the turnout was so minimal that it was almost shameful to know that we had brothers of this caliber that didn't know anything about it, okay? I'm saying we had a children's cry. She had a children's cry. And what it was to bring the attention to the constituents in that area that stopped cutting the programs for the youth. Right. The youth need the programs. They need some place to go. In other words, if you take something from value from somebody, you got to give them something equal or more in return, or you can't take it. You can't take dope from the youth when they're making thousands and thousands of dollars per day without giving them something equal or more in return. I didn't say in monetary value, but something that they could do. We got to stop talking about people because they're small minds. We got to start talking about ideas and solutions, which is large minds. We got solutions, but what we gonna do? We can't sit in the church without suit and ties on. We can't sit in the mosque praying all day no more. Right. We can't walk around complaining about what the children doing. We've been children. Reflect back to when we was hellions and bring the solution to change you back to the street to change the children. That's what we gotta do.
What would you say right now to a child to encourage him to change?
You got a chance if you would just listen to your first self one time, and you will understand that everything you see that glitter is illusion, and it's only one thing that's not illusion, and that's your creator. That's what I tell them, because that's something for them to think about when they go to bed at night.
There you go. Yeah, before you go, Brother Tony, I want to ask you a question. Now, you are a bail bondsman. What pressures are you under when these kids go ahead and do these heinous crimes and they're crying and weeping because they want to get out of jail? How do you deal with that?
Well, number one, you got to understand that, on the monetary value of it, I do it as a business.
Right.
But it's a sad business to be in because you see the statistics, how most of the time it's like a lot of repeat offenders. The same youths are getting, I'm bailing them out. They get locked up a week later. They're going back to jail again. I bail them out again. So, it's a repeat. We got the same group of people that's committing the crimes in Baltimore City. Now, I'm not saying the answer is to lock them up and throw away the key. I agree with what the brother was saying back there. I don't know what the true solution is in finding some help for these brothers, and I'm all for open suggestions for any type, but we got to do more things positive as to the men that have been down that road before and know what kind of destruction that will lead you to bring about a change in some of these youth, to let them know that I've been there, I've done that, these are results that can happen to you, and then ultimately it's on them. The bottom line is they got to make that choice of whether they want to go down that road of destruction or whether they want to go to school and be educated and become some productive member in society. But on the aspects of the bail bond piece, I'm into it to make money. Naturally, it's a business for me, but it's a sad business to be in when I look at it statistically. Like I said before, a lot of the same guys that I bail out one month are back in jail calling me again to bail them out the next month. I really have no clue as to what a clear-cut answer is. You know, I believe in God, and I know that, you know what I mean, but a lot of these guys is hooked up on the wrong. You know, you can't come at them with that approach because they are not there. You got to meet them at the level where they at and try to bring them up from there. And one of the things that I think that, again, I say needs to happen, a lot of brothers like myself, and I must admit that I haven't done all that I should do as far as giving back to the young youth in my community because I think I could be doing more. That's one of the reasons my conscience kind of bothered me to show up and come up here, that I think I could be doing more. And I know and realize and understand that God didn't clean me up just for me.
Right.
It's to help somebody else and try to bring them out a new way
But
of
I
life.
respect your honesty. And today is a day of renewing. So today you can start doing something else to help. You can even talk to the people as, you know, when you get them out. The character, man, let's try to do the right things, you know? And then, like, if you got to start to Brother Ted and his organization, you follow me? Hey, Brother Brent, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
You're a young man. What can you say to young folks? Because, I mean, every time I hear somebody get shot, it hurts me. I don't know them. They're not my family members, but it hurts me because, and I don't care if they're black or white or Chinese, Korean, but it hurts when somebody is killed. I mean, what can you say to some young persons that have a gun right now and don't know what to do with it? And with the mindset, like the kid was in the harbor, I want to go out and kill somebody.
Well, what I do, and even in my organization called Restorative Practice, I bring the reality to them. I mean, look at this. Look at the stats. It's 270 murders in Maryland this year alone. Right. It's only the 6 months. It's 94 homicides in Baltimore. Most of them are gun shooting violence. I just bring the reality to them. At the school that I am, I started this program, and I just be straight up front with them. And when I first got there, it was 300 suspensions. The following year was 150. This year was 90 suspensions. Right. It was 9 suspensions this year.
Wow.
9 suspensions in the school year. And also, we kept kids in school. Since the program I'm working with, since we kept kids in school, they learn more. We were struggling with the AYP last year. This year we passed it.
Good.
See, it ain't.
So I face reality head on. And in my mentor group, I show them things. I show them how the victims look when they're being shot and when they're being tortured and how their families are feeling afterwards. So
right.
They don't look at it on the video perspective and think, oh, it's cool to shoot somebody. That they're actually feeling where the victims' families are coming from. And
right.
And the final repercussions of people that shot somebody in jail, I let them see this stuff. Right. I let them see the reality.
You know what? I tell you what I want to happen, and panel, y'all, I need some help. I want to get into prison and interview some inmates and let them tell that story in jail. So if you out there, you can help me out. My number is 443-846-6223 because we want to help the youth. And you know what? I want to say this. We're talking about guys, but let me tell you who's off the chain. The females, yes, y'all are. You know, they what, you know, all that. And, you know, nobody is dealing with that element. You follow me? Can anybody respond to the women?
Hey, actually, I'll say I know myself. I address it all the way around. I used to actually be a behavior therapist at Kennedy Krieger.
Is that right?
Prior to all of that, I was the person you didn't want to see on a dark night. But also this young man right here, I took him in as my son.
Yeah.
And he'll tell you, I done took him, where I take you, to Disney World?
Everywhere. Atlanta.
When I went to Atlanta to speak, let him speak. When I went to California, I'm working with the Bloods in California, Crips in Little Rock, Arkansas, Vice Lords, Gangster Disciples in Chicago, Sin Boys in Detroit, the Ninth Ward Boys in New Orleans. This thing, I was the person. But I remember myself being in a carload of people, riding around looking for somebody, and it coming to my mind, I'm hoping we don't find them. Because I'm labeled Crazy Ted, and if we find them, I gotta put in work.
Right.
Meaning at some point I got tired of living up to a label that somebody gave me.
Right.
And if I could tell anybody young that's listening tonight, I will tell you one thing. One of the worst things that could ever happen to you is for you to fall in love with something that don't love you back.
That's right. I hear you.
And that was me. I loved the streets and it didn't love me back. And I shouldn't have been out there. Father, civil rights leader. Marched with Dr. King at Grambling and Southern University. Mother worked for Medgar Evers the summer he was assassinated. Had the dog sicked on her with Emmett Burns at Jackson State, Mississippi. My thing is, I shouldn't have been, but I found out one thing early, that adults cannot protect you. When your parents go to work and they send them kids to school, they can't protect them going to school. They can't even protect them in school. So you end up having to do one of two things. Either you become a good fighter or a good runner. And I wasn't going to be a good runner. So I hooked up with that crew, and it turned out it was benefits with being with that crew initially, but I didn't know. And I'm going to tell you what happened to me. It's like when somebody tell you, come into a restaurant. They let me order the lobster, the crab cakes, the shrimp, and everything else, and they didn't tell me what it was going to cost me. It didn't tell me what it was going to cost me. It ended up costing my best friend who got gunned down on Preston and Bond, and we had to hold his brains in until the paramedics came. My other friend Nellie, who got paralyzed from the neck down. My man Kurt that got life plus 20. My other friend Lloyd, who went through $175,000 of our money in 1 year, and my girlfriend dying, and then having one of my friends to turn state's evidence on me and sent the ATF to my house to get raided. That's what it cost me. I can't talk about anything, but see, that's what has to be also a message of hope for people. Because when they can see that you've been there, I'm like, man, what you doing ain't nothing. I've been there, done that, starred in the movie. But look at what God can do with anybody. Right. And God took me and changed me around. I had to have my entire street support base taken away from me for me to see. And when I tell this story and I share with them that not only was I worse than you, but 10 times and square me a couple times is what I was to you. And now, if you look what I'm doing, look at the degrees that I got. Look at the transitional, the independent living program, mentoring program, going around the country. The British Broadcasting News doing an article on me. I just received the National Dr. Martin Luther King Award.
Congrats, man.
And that's showing that God can do anything with anybody.
Go ahead, Carlton. I know. If you see Brother Carlton over here, you know he got something to say because go ahead, because I feel you. I feel you over here.
Well, one thing, this brother here, we go back.
Right.
I know his father and his mother. Okay. Great pastor, great friend.
Okay.
And great denomination. A lot of people don't know the history of Church of God in Christ, but you need to learn.
Okay.
And it's an honor to be sitting up here with brothers that I've just met today. Some of them I've known.
Right.
But these brothers, we need 100,000 times these brothers.
That's true.
Out in the street. You know, I went to University of Maryland, Eastern Shore.
Okay.
At that time, it was Maryland State College. UMES was only the second school next to Grambling that put out professional football players in this country.
Okay.
It was only second to Grambling in putting out that many stars. When I went there, the ratio of men to women on the campus, it was a woman's dream because it was almost 6 guys to every woman.
Wow.
That was there because of the athletic program. The football program, the basketball program, they had a tremendous track program. Okay. Now, you have more black males in jail.
That's right.
Than you have in college.
That's right.
I was just talking to a brother last week, a fellow pastor, Sutton, who is a graduate of Morehouse. A friend of mine's son just went to Morehouse about a year ago. Within a month, he had to get him out of there.
Why?
The reason he had to get him out of there is because the homosexuality situation down there was so rampant.
Is that right?
That the boy could not handle it, and told his father to come get him. The nickname for Morehouse around the country has been the Queen House lately.
Wow, I
Okay.
didn't know that.
I understand that the new president, however, is implementing plans to try to break that up, try to, decrease that because it's a major institution.
Uh-huh.
Now, when we start looking at the fact, Dr. Ann Emory,
Mm-hmm.
fabulous educator,
Yes, she is.
has a school just for boys
Mm-hmm.
that she started in East Baltimore, I think along with Councilman
Douglas.
Stokes.
Yeah, Doug Stokes, yeah.
Yeah, Carl Stokes.
Yeah.
I understand, if I'm not mistaken, they are moving the program now to Walbrook.
Yeah, yeah.
And there are parents with young boys that are clamoring to get these boys in there.
Right, right.
Why? These boys go to school from 7 in the morning to 7 at night.
Right, right.
They
That's
get
right.
3 square meals a day, including dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? They have study time. They getting the test scores are off the chart.
That's right, that's
Okay?
right.
And they demand that parents be a part of this situation.
That's right, that's right.
And that's one of the problems we're having now.
Mm-hmm.
We have had babies having babies, and the babies having babies.
That's right, that's right.
And ain't nobody learned to parent nobody.
That's right.
And that's one of the major situations out there
Mm-hmm.
with these kids on these corners. When I look at in the daytime, and I'm talking about in the fall or in the winter, not in the summer when the kids are out,
Right.
but when you can look out your door at 11 o'clock in the morning and you see kids walking around doing nothing or doing something they ain't got no business to doing,
Mm-hmm.
but yet there's no truant officers, you ain't got no Miss White no more.
No, she used to be my neighbor, too.
That woman's name.
come in there and get you.
He telling the truth.
Come and get you.
Just now, if you thought about it, ain't no way Miss White could have been at 100 people's places at the same time. Okay, but just a mention of her
Her
name.
name, that's right.
Miss White didn't play, and the judge that was
And the-
downtown didn't play.
didn't
neither.
play.
I forgot his name.
Okay, and that's what a lot of parents
Yeah,
have done.
yeah, damn it.
Right.
He didn't play.
They have
He didn't care what
they
you
have
said.
stopped parenting, and now guess what?
What's that?
The courts are parenting.
That's right, that's right. But let me ask you a question before you go. How sick does it make you, Mr. Douglas, as a film director, to bury young people?
Oh, listen, let me give you just one story. And this happened I'm going back maybe 34 years ago when I was a trade embalmer.
Okay.
The funeral home that I was embalming for had a case come in. The baby was like maybe 18 months old.
Okay.
Beautiful little boy.
Okay.
This is how the baby died. The baby's mother's boyfriend, which I'm not even sure was the father of the baby,
Mm-hmm.
the baby started crying. This man took the baby and smashed it against the wall till it stopped crying. Well, the reason it stopped crying because the baby was dead.
Wow.
And this was a young black man,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
okay? When I get calls where a kid who was an A student, basketball player, getting ready to get a scholarship to go to wherever,
Uh-huh.
but some kid jealous of him because he's in school, A student,
Mm-hmm.
popular, comes up behind him and blows his brains out
Mm-hmm.
with no reason, that really disturbs me.
It should.
Because
yeah.
now it tells me, well, first of all, where is the conscience of the guy that killed him, and where is his moral background coming from?
Mm-hmm.
Because evidently there ain't nothing there.
Absolutely. Wow, that's deep.
See, I know for a fact people can change. You just got to make a way for them. That's all to it. Because some people don't have what we have. Some people slower than others. Some people faster than others. I got a daughter out here right now that hurt me to my heart every day. And all I could do is pray for her. And she's 32 years old. And she's smarter than smart. But you know what I call her? I call her smart stupid. Because when you smart and you don't show it, something wrong with you. Something wrong with you. And I tell her that every day, hoping that she gonna change. But see, you can't make a person change. You can only show them the way. That's it. But you gotta change on your own. Then you got these women out here, some of them, that's having men into their homes they don't know nothing about, don't know where they come from, but yet when something happens to their babies, they all out in arms, want to kill somebody.
Right, Brother John.
You always supposed to take inventory on who goes in your house and out your house. If it ain't right, don't do it. If it ain't good, don't take it. Simple as that. Simple. It's simple.
Now,
And people always saying, I'm just one parent. I know many of people just one parent and raise a lot of children. See, some people got so many excuses, they ain't even got time to get it right. Because all the excuses in the way. When I start throwing away all my excuses and stop thinking about what people was thinking about me, I start getting my act together. You know why? Because they wasn't never for me anyway. They was only for me when I had something. But when I ain't had nothing, none of them even ring my bell a day. You know why? Because I ain't got nothing for them. And that ain't being wrong. That ain't being harsh. That's just being right. Because I will not let no one break my peace today, not even my own children. I was in a meeting one day in the community association I'm in Shipley Hill. The woman came in the meeting and asked me, John, what are we going to do about the drug dealers in the neighborhood? You know what I told her? Get them out your house. Get them out your house. That's what we're going to do with them. As soon as you get them out your house, we're going to do something.
And I'm a kind of piggyback off of Brother John. I say the children, I feel like the children are ignorant because the parents are miseducated. So right now, instead of talking directly to the kids, I'm going to talk to the parents.
Okay, good.
Parents, the ones who are there for your children. Matter of fact, I'm going to start with the ones that's not there for your children. The ones that's not there for your children, you let your children watch your younger sons and your younger daughters, and they're only 11 and 12 themselves. You got to stop it. You got to let your children be kids. They're growing up too fast. And that's the reason why they're choosing the streets over education, because you're not giving them a chance to just be a kid and learn. And for the parents that are there in your kids' lives and you feel like you're doing above and beyond for your children and you feel like the children are still making the wrong decisions, I say keep doing what you're doing. Don't close the window, leave the window open for them. Because after the streets finish beating on them and all the streets have to offer for them, when they start saying people get killed and drugs and they're being arrested and stuff and they're getting whipped on by the streets, let them know that they still have a place to come to. Don't let them feel like there's nowhere else to go because they made this wrong decision that they can't come back to your house. Let them know that you're still there for them. Even if know that they messed up, let them know that you'll still be there to support them when they do better. I look at myself and my situation. If I never had anyone there for me and all the wrong decisions I've made, I would never be on TV right now. You know, I would never be on radio stations. I would never would have met my godfather here, Ted Sutton. But when it feels like someone's cared for you, even if you're not a parent, if you feel like you see a certain potential in a child, grab a hold to them, take them under your wing, help guide them in the right direction.
Hey, listen,
Go ahead.
we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Don't move. We'll be right back. Oh, God, this is awesome. But listen, what I want to do right now is take a little break, stretch your legs. We're going to let Brother James come on up. We're going to let Brother James do the song. Hey, welcome back. It's on Talk Show, and today's topic is stopping the violence. But I brought some entertainment here today. This brother here, Brother Nelson James from Baltimore. Brother Nelson James, how you doing?
Pretty good, yourself.
They said you're real hot. So what's happening with you?
They said that, huh?
That's what they say.
Well, I'm from Baltimore, and I'm currently working on which will be my first CD.
All right.
And it should be released in a matter of months.
All
so
right.
Keep your fingers crossed.
Hey.
This particular song I'm going to sing this evening is appropriate for your show because it speaks about the violence, it speaks about the murder.
Right.
It's a Marvin Gaye tune.
Okay.
I hope you enjoy it.
Brother James, do your thing.
Yes, sir.
Baltimore, I'll give you Nelson James.
Thank you. Mother, there's too many of you crying. You see, brother, there's far too many of you dying. You know we've got to find a way to bring some love in here today.
for only love can stop this hate. You know we've got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Hey, there's picket lines and picket silence. Don't punish me with brutality. Talk to me so you can see. Oh, what's going on? What's going on? Yeah, what's going on? Please. Woo. Woo. Hey brothers, stop this killing. Father, everybody thinks we're wrong. Oh, but who are they to judge us? Simply because our hair is long. Oh, you know we've got to find some way to bring some understanding here today. Oh Lord, there's picket lines and picket signs. Don't punish me for brutality. Come on, rap to me so we can see. Oh, what's going on? Yeah, what's going on? Tell me what's going on, please. Woo. Right on. Woo. Hey brothers, stop this killing. Right on, y'all. Right on, everybody. Let's stop this killing, y'all. Let's kill all this killing. Let's stop it. It's just not right. Stop the murders, all right?
Hello, this is It's On Talk Show. We're back, and today's topic is Stop the Violence. And today I have here Brother David Davison. This is an act of violence. It's a little different than street violence. But Brother Davis, what he does is redeem houses that have been lost through tax sales as well as from the tax sales and water bills. Brother David, how you doing?
Fine, and yourself?
You know, many people need your help right now because a lot of people have lost their houses through tax sales or water bills. How can you help the citizens of Baltimore to redeem their houses? Because that's an act of violence. Would you not agree?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. I would go as far as to say it's a quiet act of violence where we have parents, senior citizens, such as grandparents, great-grandparents, lose their properties to liens such as water bills, taxes, under the mayor and city council. And this is a business that has always been the government business for Baltimore City and other cities throughout the United States Union, where the property owners is not educated, told, or neither can you go to school to be taught that when you default on your taxes and your property go to tax sale, that property can be redeemed, and the sooner you redeem it, the less costs it costs the property owner. This is a business that all cities throughout the United States Union practice because this is how they generate their proceeds to run the city for the most part.
Okay.
So in this business, anybody can come to the city, purchase a tax sale property that belongs to you, and you may not be aware of it. And through that misfortune, the court would decree the property to that person who purchased that tax sale lien. And next thing you know, you being evicted from your home.
Right.
But on the flip side of this is very profitable to those that has the money that can purchase these liens and foreclose on these liens and take these properties, renovate them, and create a large rent inventory. So
Right.
there's a good side to this, there's a downside to this. So anyone that has any questions or want to learn more about this, I can be reached at 410-961-0734. And I will be glad to answer any of your questions. If you have any issues, I can resolve them.
Can you
for
give that number real slow for us?
Yes, 410-961-0734.
Okay, listen, so if you all have lost your property through some liens, give him a call because it's possible you can get your property back, okay, because that's an act of violence. And you need your house, your kids need it. So I want to thank you for coming on and sharing with the viewers about obtaining their property back. So please don't hesitate to call him. Give your number one more time.
410-961-0734.
And I'll be right back. Don't move nowhere. Hello, it's on Talk Show, and we're back. And today's topic is stopping the violence. And you've already seen the panel. We have one new person on the panel, which is Miss Yvette. Hi, Miss Yvette.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing fine, and yourself?
I'm doing wonderful.
Miss Yvette, you're here with the guys. You're the only beautiful lady up here. What do you think about stopping the violence? But before you hold your thought, because I've got to say this, do you like Bing pies? Well, let me tell you. At KT Kitchens up at 5410 Park Heights, Brother Kevin's Kitchen, everybody know him. Brother Kevin's Kitchen has the best Bing pies. I'm telling you, they are so delicious. And also what they have is fabulous food. Fish with, my man Everett, he makes the fish with the broccoli and the rice. You talking about something delicious, y'all. But listen, I'm going to give the mic to Yvette. I'm going to eat me a piece of Bing pie. Here you go.
Hello. Bean pie is lovely. My name is... Yeah. I'll take a piece, too. My name is Yvette Chambers-Ill. And actually, I am the executive director for Promise Child Production, and I also work with an organization called One Green Home at a Time. Our organization actually focuses on arts. We believe in reaching the youth via arts, and we also cultivate youth leadership. Part of the problem that I see is a lot of times we forget that we were children. You have to put yourself in the child's place to be able to be effective. I have a pretty good success rate with the youth that I reach simply because I am them and they are me. Right. I can relate to when I was their age. I was always in the gifted and talented program, but I used to wonder, my mind would wander all of the time. One, because there was nothing set in place that allowed me to exercise my gift, my talents, and my abilities. Two, I didn't have the support in the home. So in most cases, children, when they don't get the support and the love that they need inside the home, they go outside. They get it from their peers. They get it from the gang members. We as parents have to begin to, one, recognize the gifts and the talents that our children have and train them up in those ways. But two, what we're finding, I know the panel members discussed it earlier, what I'm finding, the children that I actually encounter, a lot of them, you look at, oh, those children are harmed. They're off the hook. It's not so much that they're off the hook. You don't see what they go through in their homes.
Right.
So they're rearing themselves. So we need more. The parents don't have a clue. They have so much stuff going on in their own lives that they don't really know how to effectively minister and raise their own children. So one, we do need parenting classes set in place in the community. In other cultures, they have them. We need to embrace parenting classes in our community to teach the parents, because a lot of them, they're doing what their parents did, their grandparents did, or their peers doing. So we go to school to learn how to be good doctors and lawyers. Sometimes we need to get educated to learn how to become good parents as well. Right. So I become more like a surrogate, and it doesn't matter. It says that it takes a village to raise them. It doesn't matter if it's my biological child. We have an obligation as a people to be productive members of society, but also contributing members of society. So we have an obligation to reach back. It doesn't matter whether that child is my biological daughter or my biological son. And children respond to love.
That's right.
So we have to... We look at the drug dealers and the gangbangers and we say so many negative things about them. But the truth of the matter is they're gifted. They're entrepreneurs. Absolutely. They're just peddling the wrong stuff. So we can get strong, prominent men from the community, business-minded men to come alongside like Ted Sutton and teach these young men. Okay, like the gentleman behind me, my fiance, Daryl Johnson Bay, mentioned they're used to making $1,000 on the street. If you take that from them, what are you going to give them in return? Right. So it takes the efforts of the community, particularly our strong men that are in the community, to step up and answer the call and become a father figure, regardless whether you birthed them or not.
That's right.
So I think that's the beginning of change when we begin to do that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brother Ted, we'll move around. He said, Brother Kevin, this pie is good. I want you to know, folks, this pie is good. 5410 Park Heights. Stop in and get a Bing pie or a meal. Brother Kevin, we love you up there. Go ahead, Brother Ted.
Yeah, I just want to say that really we do need, I say, real men to stand up for what's right. And that's what it boils down to. Well, actually, there's a book being written on me right now. It's called From Pain to Power. And one of the chapters is called Don't Be Born an Original and Die a Copy. And it focuses on how my entire life was I almost died trying to be something that I was not. So I would say for the men to just stand up, be mentors, stop worrying about the materialism that's out there, because sometimes young men just want somebody to connect to, because a lot of these young men are actually breaking rules because nobody took the time to even show them and teach them what the rules were. I knew that if I had a beef with you, but you was with your mother, you had a pass. But now, you know, moms would have to be ducking and running and everything else. So we just need to come back to what's real and be real. And also I can be reached at www.suttonhousevision.com. Thank you.
Well, real briefly, I just want to say that, you know, a lot of the guys that, like me, have turned their life around and been on that wrong road of destruction, they need to come out. More of us need to come out and just, if you just try to mentor to one youth in your community, you don't have to change everybody. Just grab one youth, you see him going in the wrong direction, try to pull him in the right direction, because you know what the end of that road will wind up leading him to. Thank you.
Stop killing each other. If you do the crime, you're going to do the time. If you're out there dealing, one of two things going to happen to you. You either going to jail or you going to die. Now, if you're going to die, at least get some insurance so that Aunt Lucy and Uncle Ed, we don't have to hold the body out for a week to 10 days, so we got to wait for them to get here with the money to help bury you, because nobody ain't got no insurance on you, and you have not put no money away to take care of you or your family. Look at this. Carlton C. Douglas Funeral Service, 1701 McCullough Street, 410-669-1738. But we don't want to see you die. We want to see you live.
People are like elevators. Some could bring you up, and some could bring you down. You all need to reach on and grab our children and help bring them up, whether they're yours or they're not. And for the young folks, you can look at a young man like me who used to be a gang member who turned my life around and realize this was all a dream to me. Your current situation does not have to be your final destination.
This is John. Again, all I got to say is you need to let go and let God. And please, please take your babies by the hand and hold them. At least if you haven't said anything good today, tell somebody next to them that you love them, because you might not get a chance the way things going on. But this system of things, we should not let the system of things let us get ourselves down, because all is here for a purpose. And my purpose is to help save the children, regardless if you want to be saved or not. I'm going to try my best. But I'm leaving it up to the parents to try their best, to do their best by their own. And I love all of y'all. And I was thinking last night, when I was thinking to myself, I say, let's save one and help one. At least if we save one, we might can help another. If it's not only ourselves. So stop being selfish and get with the game, because we got a long way to go, but a short time to get there. God bless you all.
Good evening. My name is Daryl. Before we leave, I'd like to say that I have a solution to the problem. First, one, we spend over $3 billion annually as a people. It don't circulate through our communities not one time, so we can't pay each other. We don't produce nothing, so we can't create nothing, okay? If you want to learn something about yourselves, I invite you all to 1569 Homestead from 8 to 10 on Friday nights, from 5 to 7 on Sundays. Thank you, and please have a blessed everything.
Hey, again, thank you all. I appreciate everybody that came out tonight. And again, I want to say to the viewing audience, let's stop the killing. Let's love one another. Look to God, your creator, and let's live in peace. Put them guns down and live. Peace, and I'm out. Hey, it's on Talk Show. We're back, and I tell you, we have here Brother Nelson James. He's a bad dude, man. You sound awesome. And
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I can't wait to see get your DVD. To see you on the major stages of the world.
I can't wait with you.
All right, my man. We'll give it back to you. Do your thing.
All right.
Whoa, oh, mercy, mercy me. All things ain't what they used to be. No, no. Where did all the blue skies go? Poison is the wind that blows from the north and south and seas. Whoa, mercy, mercy me. All things ain't what they used to be. No, no. Oil wasted on the oceans and upon our sea. Fish full of mercury. Oh, mercy, mercy me. People, things ain't what they used to be. No, no. Radiation's underground and in the sky. Animals and birds that live nearby, they're dying. Oh, mercy, mercy me. People, things ain't what they used to be. What about this overcrowded land? How much more beast from man can she stand? We, no, no.
Thank you. Thank you.